sleep. I pray the Lord, my soul forgive. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord, my soul to take. The city don't love me. Me know say the city don't love me. Me don't have a job, no money. Lord.
Alright, so welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. We are drawing near the end of this appeal trial. Right now, as things stand, the defense has made its case and has poked multiple holes into this case. Right? Where there were no doubts before, there are definitely now doubts established. The prosecution has had its day in court now, and the prosecution has stood up to say that they reject claims of contaminated evidence in this trial. So in other words, the prosecution is saying all the evidence they presented in 2014 is clean and clear cut, and there was no tampering of any evidence. This seems to be a bit of a joke to me, because I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So big up to the loop for this again. As I read, the prosecution on Friday sought to pour cold water on assertions made by the defense in the Vybz Kartel murder trial that retired High Court Judge Justice Lennox Campbell made an error when he admitted certain electronic evidence into the 2014 murder trial of the entertainers and his co-convicts. So, if y'all didn't know it before, this Judge Justice Lennox Campbell, has since retired. I mean, what's the worst that can happen to him, huh? They can't bring him up on any charges. All they can say is he made a lot of mistakes during the trial, right? It's over with. He's somewhere collecting his pension and living his life. Anyways, earlier this week, defense attorney Robert Fletcher, representing Kahira Jones, one of Kartel's 3 co-convicts, asserted that Justice Campbell allowed contaminated exhibits into evidence, which he suggested untimely sealed his client's fate. But Assistant Director of Public Prosecution Orette Brown is rejecting those assertions. Again, I'm wondering why Tom Tavares Finson's face has not been shown, and I am also wondering why the DPP Paula Llewellyn's face has not been shown as well. So instead of this story saying Paula Llewellyn is rejecting, we are now dealing with an Assistant Director of Public Prosecution, which is Orette Brown. And Orette Brown is rejecting those assertions. This case, my lord, as you are well aware, concerns digital evidence, and we respectfully submit that digital evidence in and of itself is a special species of evidence. What does that mean? A special species of evidence, and we respectfully submit. We want to get to the yes or the no, the clean cut black and white, the true or the lie, not no fancy talk at this moment. There was no evidence that the BB with BlackBerry messages, this is the same person speaking, there was no evidence that the BlackBerry messages, videos, and text messages taken from Kartel's mobile phone were tampered with. And even if they were, that was an issue for the jury to decide, the prosecutor said. Anybody see me die in trial though? I mean, come on now, people. We are Jamaicans, we are not dummies. We're not idiots. And on the larger scale, Kartel has fan base that spans the earth. People are watching this. These people are making us look dumber than a box of rocks. Listen to this carefully again. Let me break this down for you. She said there was no, she or he said there was no evidence that the BB or BlackBerry messages, videos, and text messages taken from Kartel's mobile phone were tampered with. How? How was there no evidence that it was tampered with? The phone itself was tampered with, and admittedly tampered with. It was admitted by a police officer that that phone was taken from the room, the evidence room, brought out of the building, kept in his personal possession, and used for himself. That in itself says anything with that phone has been tampered with. No, this person wants to narrow it down to the messages and the phone was not tampered with. This is silly. Alright? Brown said, this is the part that gets me now. There's no evidence that any of it was tampered with. Mobile phone were tampered with, or even if they were. That part when them say even if they were. Are you serious? Even if they were. As if to say, well, as if. Even if they were tampered with, it's a big deal. Even if they were, that was an issue for the jury to decide, the prosecutor said. Now, people, I am no idiot and I am no genius. I'm somewhere in between. Check this out. If evidence is tampered with and then given to a jury, tampered evidence to make a decision, and that tampered evidence points to the guilt of the innocent, then the jury comes back with a guilty verdict for someone that is innocent because of tampered evidence. Am I correct? We can't call that justice, wrong or right. So for this person to say there was no evidence, but even if it was tampered with, that was an issue for the jury to decide. The jury, last time I checked, were individuals that were chosen not because they were experts at technician, experts at deciding if technological information was tampered with. Okay? A jury is a group of people that were put in a room to decide on a case based on the evidence that were presented to them. So there's no way that you can come up here and say, even if it was tampered with, that's something for the jury to decide. The jury might not have known that it was tampered with. And that is what had come to light in the works of the defense lawyers in this appeal, that there was a lot of tampering that was going on in this case. So based on that, I just feel like this whole thing needs to get fling out. I mean, talk to me in the comment section, people, and tell me what you think about this one. I just think it's crazy. Brown also said that there were gaps in continuity in the messages that would not bar admissibility. What they affect is the weight or cogency attached to the evidence. Brown asserted, insisting that the judge was not palpably wrong to admit the exhibits. And it has already been established clearly that the judge was totally wrong. Because right now a lot of people are saying, well, but wait. If you notice that the prosecution, they are not arguing away all the evidence that has been submitted and the proof that has been submitted. They are just simply trying to say nothing was tampered with. Oh man. A high-profile team of defense lawyers began presenting arguments before the Court of Appeal on Monday in an attempt to secure the release of Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, and his fellow convicts, entertainer Sean Storm, Sean Campbell, Andre St. John, and Kahir Jones. And we all know now that the men were found guilty in April of 2014 of the murder of Clive Lizard Williams, and a body was never found. The four men were sentenced to life in prison, and they were sentenced largely on circumstantial evidence because not one shred of solid evidence was presented in that case to have them convicted. Now, the part that bugs me about this, somebody said to me, "Oh, SouFLo, just wait till the prosecution put for them case forward, before you start say yay or nay." Alright, I've been waiting, and I'm telling you that highly disappointed, because for you to come up here and say, so what if it has been tampered with? That was something for the jury to decide. I'm going to say this again, okay? A jury is expected to make a decision based on evidence that was submitted to them in hopes that that evidence is real, in hopes that it's not lies. Now, if a jury is sitting there and you present that jury with false evidence, then the jury has no way of telling that it's false evidence. It's not their job, right? It's not their job to go find out what was wrong here and what was wrong there. They're going off of what's presented from both sides. And that is what they're working off of. So it highly bugs my mind that this person comes out and says, the assistant DPP comes out and says, so what if it was? That kind of an attitude. Well, whether we like it or not, it is out of our hands. And as we approach the end, all we can do now is wait. And more than likely, we will have to wait for about 1 to 3 months. And then we will know the decision. It's SouFLoTV. Leave your comment in the comment section below as we continue to track this appeal closely. I'm out. Peace.